Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. My name is McAllik, and yes, I have been gone for quite a while. Life has kept me busy and whatnot. But for today, I am going to be covering everything you need to know about patch 9. Between everything we saw during the live stream and all of the patch notes, here is all of the important things that you need to know. Now, before we get into actual gameplay changes, the biggest pieces of news we learned today is that patch 9 will be the last big patch Larian will be dropping for early access. Over the course of the next 8 months, we may see some hotfixes here and there, but no more additional goodies for early access will be happening up until full release hits in August. Now, the second piece of big news the gaming community is going to be very excited for is the new voice actors for Jaheira and Minsk. Now, I know some of y'all might be a little bit sad the original VAs aren't returning. I know I was a little bummed about it at first, but I am confident that both Tracy Wiles and Matt Mercer will do the characters justice. We already got a snippet of Tracy talking during the teaser clip the other day, and during the stream earlier today, we got to see Matt talking as Minsk in a recording booth. They honestly both sounded really good, and I'm looking forward to reuniting with these characters. And yes, both Minsk and Jaheira will be recruitable companions, but based on your actions as the player, it is very possible for them to become your enemies as well. Alright, now for the nitty-gritty of this video. Starting things off, we have the Paladin class being released with this patch. They will have technically 3 subclasses you can choose from. The main 2 are Oath of the Ancients and Oath of Devotion, while the third hidden subclass is the Oathbreaker. In order to get the Oathbreaker subclass, you will need to just choose a subclass, get in the game, and just find a way to break your oath. We got to see a bit of that on stream today with what the process is going to be looking like. You're going to be visited by a mysterious dark knight named the Custodian of the Fallen, and this will mark the beginning of your path as an Oathbreaker. Oh, and another piece of big news I should have started with. The level cap for early access has been raised to level 5 finally. Now, obviously, a lot of us can't get in game at the moment, but I am planning on making a separate video on all of the level 5 class benefits. During the stream, Sven did show off a few of them during the demo, but it wasn't really anything substantial. It was primarily just the mages having Fireball, which has a very big radius, by the way, and clerics being able to raise zombies. Zombies of which can make even more zombies mid-combat if you kill people quickly enough. So the technical way it's going to happen is they bite someone, they get a debuff. If they die with the debuff, they come back as another zombie. So you can just keep it rolling if you do it correctly. Next up, we have the reaction system getting revamped. Overall, the player control over their reaction abilities will be more comprehensive than it used to be. In general, we will be getting a dedicated reaction window to control everything, and we can tell the game to ask us every time if we do or do not want to use a reaction in that moment that it activates. And as far as I can tell, it's something as simple as just clicking a little check mark next to the spell in the reactions window. A number of combat encounters have also been rebalanced for the end of Act 1. Without any details given on that piece of information, I'm going to be assuming that it's going to be the big ones like Drawer or even the final boss of Grimforge. They might be a little bit easier now, but we'll see after the patch gets downloaded. And as always, we have a large list of new spells being added. So I will endeavor to list them all out right now. My mouth is going to get very tired from saying these. We have Animate Dead, Beacon of Hope, Bestow Curse, Branding Smite, Call Lightning. Power Word Command now has like 5 different variations: Approach, Drop, Flee, Grovel, and Halt. We have Control Undead, Counterspell, Daylight, Dismiss Summon is now a thing, We have Divine Favor, Divine Sense, Divine Smite, Dreadful Aspect, Fear, Feign Death, Fireball, Fly, Gaseous Form, Glyph of Warding, Haste, Healing Radiance, Holy Rebuke, Hunger of Hadar, Hypnotic Pattern, Lay on Hands, Magic Weapon, Mass Healing Word, Nature's Wrath, One with Shadows, Plant Growth, Protection from Energy, which is Acid, Cold, Fire, Lightning, Thunder, Remove Curse, Revivify, Sacred Weapon, Sanctuary, Sleet Storm, Spirit Guardian, Spiteful Suffering, Stinking Cloud, Thunderous Smite, Turn the Faithless, Turn the Unholy, Vampiric Touch, Vow of Enmity, Wrathful Smite, Bear Honeyed Paws, Boar Rage, Boar Frenzied Strike, Dwergar Animate Dead, Raven, Bad Omen, Giant Spider Entomb, and Zombie Slam. In addition to all these new spells being added, spell scrolls for things outside of the Wizard class have all been removed from NPCs. Everything except for Revivify, Summon Quasit, True Resurrection, and Speak with Dead. Minthara is now also classified as a Paladin instead of a Cleric, and characters who attempt to play an instrument that they are not proficient with will now fail in a very amusing way. We actually got to see this on stream earlier.
You asked for this, Nick. I'm just gonna leave it.
I did.
So I'm failing my performance checks. And this is now done in a spectacular manner. And so as we go and proceed, the music is gonna get worse and worse and worse. Anything else you wanted to show? I'm gonna leave it.
You're welcome, chat.
This is gonna be the end for chat.
And now we're going to wrap things up with some of the smaller highlights. There is now a ping system added to the game that said that you can use it outside of combat whenever, but in combat it can only be used during your own turn. All tooltips, of course, got another overhaul. You can now delete save files as an entire playthrough instead of having to go through them one by one, deleting them each individually. Some new heads have been added into the character creation for the female, human, and elf races. The quarterstaff weapons are now considered versatile weapons. The spell Mage Hand now no longer interferes with rangers summoning companions and familiars. And lastly, our characters get dirtier much slower now than they used to. But the trade-off for this is that if we ever get knocked down, we will get a bit dirtier. Thankfully though, getting wet should still clean us. And that is pretty much all of the highlights from the patch notes and panel from hell earlier today. The patch notes, of course, have a very long list of detailed fixes and updates across the board for things like UI changes, bug fixes, quality of life updates, and so on. So if you want to read those in detail, you can always find them on the game's Steam page. That aside though, when you all finally get the update rolling, be sure to keep an eye out for anything that Larian might have snuck in, because if I remember correctly, they don't always list out everything they add in these updates on their patch notes. And if I remember correctly from the teaser, there was a number of things shown off that weren't inside of the demo earlier today. Not talking about Baldur's Gate, the city itself, but you know, a few locations here or there that I didn't quite recognize. So until next time, everyone, I hope you all have fun with the patch. I will be doing my best to actually be active during 2023 up until the release. So until next time, be safe out there.